This black spot right here is where the light has disappeared. It cannot penetrate this spot, nor can it exist here, because this is the point of centripetal convergence, where light is literally sucking down like a drain down a hole. Okay?
There's no inside structure.
Is it hollow?
Yeah, there's only a surface. There's nothing inside.
Is the sun actually, do you believe, combusting in on
It's
itself?
not burning anything. There's no fusion in the sun. That's well understood.
Prove it.
Yeah, well, there's just not the way to prove that there is any. It's only in the flares that you get fusion. That's why all the X-rays. The flares, the arcs, and the X-rays, and the microwaves, and whatever result of fusion in the arcs. There's no fusion in the sun. They don't know how the sun works.
Why do you... What's special? How does the sun make light?
It's a transformer. Transforms from some other dimension. It's not burning anything. It doesn't have to. It's a converter.
At the center of every magnet, there is zero magnetism. You can see that underneath the ferrocell. You can see that underneath magnetic viewing film. You could even see it if you were to bring two magnets together with a Gauss meter at the center. So, we know what's going to be at the center. Is there going to be a black spot or a gigantic disk of light? What do you think the answer is? We're creating one magnet out of two. You'll notice as I get it closer, hard to keep it from snapping together, I don't want to break the glass, that at first the black hole gets a little larger. Notice the flux lines diverging. You see that? Now wait, what happens when I bring it together? Look at what's forming before I bring it together. You see that ring of light? As I get closer, let me get it so you can get a better view. As I get closer, the black turns into a ring of light. See if I can zoom in so you can see it. Here we go. Hold on a second. There we go. A ring of light. What you're seeing is the center of the magnet. These two magnets are now effectively one, even though they're separated by a couple of thin pieces of precision glass. The center where no magnetism exists, there's a halo of light. The dark lines represent centripetal convergence. The white lines represent centrifugal divergence. So what you're seeing in the white lines is true magnetism. No, they're moving in the exact same direction, only inverse to your spatial perspective. Nothing. Space is the air inside this donut. The cream filling inside the donut of magnetic divergence is literally the farts, the after effect, the remnant remains, the fecal matter of the loss of inertia, which necessitates magnetic divergence and reciprocation. As Faraday called magnetism, he called it the dielectric field. And oddly enough, one of the first experts in electrical engineering was the guy who got closest, even closer than Tesla, to understanding what magnetism was in its relationship to dielectricity, because only dielectricity exists.
Love my flat Earth community because they're asking questions and they're, you know, trying to get to the answers, but the truth of it is there is no scientific evidence to break down a flat torus field. There is no such thing. There's no such thing as something being a flat and three-dimensional object at the same time either. Because a lot of them say, well, it's hollow, but it's flat, but it's round, and it's this at the same time. It's absurd. I mean, how much more are you going to try and force things into your model of it being flat? It's not flat. It can't be flat. I'll explain why. When you break down these two pictures here, showing you field theory 101. This little orange, or this greenish looking blue disc right here, I don't know if you can see that. That bluish disc right here, that's flat right there. This is where flat earthers say they live, on the flat part of a torus field. Okay? So what this is right here is this is the centripetal dielectric movement and zone right here. Centripetal, dielectric movement and zone. Centripetal means in, so everything is converging inward, and that breaks it down right here. This is your dielectric plate right here. This greenish, bluish looking flat plate right here is this yellow right here. This is what you're seeing right here. So everything is centripetal. It's converging in on the center point. It's converging in on the center point. On the center point. On the center. Center. Center is the point of creation. Center. So everything's converging in at this center point, which is the dielectric field. It's destroying space, meaning, and this is where they say they live. So everything is sucking in. You can take your idea of a black hole, and this is exactly what you would get. You understand? So what this is, where they say they live, is in a chaotic state of a black hole, of nothingness. Nothing exists here. This is formless energy before it's cast out and expressed through magnetism.
He's not finding a truth. He's losing an illusion. The depictions of the Flammarion engraving state as followed. A medieval missionary says he has found the point where heaven and earth meet. The message couldn't be clearer. The dome is a facade, an illusion of the mind.
We do not like to believe that perhaps there is a whole world of things beyond our sensory perception, or outside of our ability to understand.
I've heard the argument, and I did abide by it myself for a few years. Water always seeks its own level, right? There were several significant properties I completely ignored. compression, electricity, magnetism, resonance, memory, and more. We'll delve into some of these and further on the next episode of The Cave. Thanks for joining me.